Hey, Whammy, listen, I'm a little bit, let's just say I'm tired, okay? I'm tired. What am I tired about? What are you sick of now, Eugene? The Whammy Gunslinger. I'm I'm really sick of the 40 caliber talk. Like at this point, I'm now tired of it. Like it's a little too much now, you know. And as you look on social media, you'll see people talk about 40 caliber as if every time a cop shot someone with it, it turned around and shot the cop. like no one's ever died from a 40 caliber, right? People don't understand why 40 caliber began to have the decline, why it wasn't getting as much love anymore. Let me explain it for you guys who are not aware, because some of you may just have heard, oh, 40 caliber sucks, go 9 millimeter, and you may not exactly know. It's not really a ballistic thing, okay? So it's pretty simple. 9 millimeter. What they found. Um, Let me just say this first. Police officers went from carrying 357 Magnums and 38 Specials, which 357 Magnum did an amazing job at stopping man. Okay, that's documented. Masad Ayub talks about it all the time. This is kind of the reason why 10 millimeter was made and 357 SIG, because they wanted a round in semi-auto form that could perform like a 357 Magnum. They got it with 10 millimeter. Of course, everyone knows the story about the 40 caliber. You know, FBI had 10 millimeter. They said it was a little too much recoil, too much power. They wanted to tone it down. They made the 10 millimeter short, which became the 40 Smith and Wesson. So 10 millimeter is literally 40 Smith and Wesson's daddy, right? All right. So everyone knows. Most people know that. Eventually, what happens is police departments all across the country started carrying Glock 22s and Glock 23s. Okay, mostly Glock 22s, which are 40 caliber Glocks, full size. Some would get compact, most would go Glock 22 full size. Okay. After so many years, they concluded that, because I left the part out, after 357 Magnum, they went 9 millimeter. So most police officers were carrying 9 millimeter hand Glock 17, sometimes Glock 19, but usually Glock 17. Then they went to 40 caliber, Glock 22s, Glock 23s. So after carrying 40 caliber for years, many years, 10 years maybe, was it? A long time. They they found in studies that they're not seeing 40 caliber to be a better, listen to the word, a better stopper or more effective than 9 millimeter in stopping a threat. Not because 40 was worse than 9 millimeter. That was never the case. Never has been the case. It was because, hey, we're finding that 9 millimeter seemed to do just as good a job as the 40 has been doing, with a difference of 1%. If I remember correct, it was 9 millimeter was a 13%. Um, I mean, those are one shot, one kill statistics, but 9 millimeter was 13%, 40 caliber was 14%. It was just, it wasn't enough to justify the price, right? Because 9 millimeter, you get two more bullets and the price is less. And of course, we know the government is all about, or you know, state, whatever. They're all about saving a penny. So the whole 40 caliber thing is, hey, look, 9 millimeter is doing just as good a job. It's cheaper and we get two more bullets. We might as well go back to 9 millimeter. Not 40 caliber isn't killing. Not 40 caliber is not doing as good of a job as 9 millimeter. Not 40 caliber is doing a worse job than 9 millimeter. None of that. It's as simple as this. 9 millimeter and 40 caliber, when it comes to stopping a person, when it comes to stopping the threat, seem to be identical. Therefore, might as well go 9 millimeter because it's cheaper. So what you're then dealing with is a caliber that works, absolutely. But what you have is you have a little bit more recoil than 9 millimeter, right? So for those who are n- new to intermediate, um, they'll probably shoot 9 millimeter better than they'll shoot 40 because 9 millimeter is less recoil and you can get back on target faster. For those who shoot, they shoot a little different. Um, it's like they shoot everything the same. So whether I'm shooting personally, whether I'm shooting 10 millimeter, 45, 49 millimeter, I shoot the same. Like I'm coming the same way. I'm getting the rounds out the same speed. Nothing changes. Um, but I've been shooting 10 millimeter for a long time, right? So when someone when someone carries 40 caliber or buys a 40 caliber gun, the whole that was you're a horror, that was the dumbest, you're carrying the worst like shut up. Like at this point, stop, just shut up. Because only thing you can really say to them is, hey man, you're spending a little more money than you should or could. It's all you're really trying to say to them. It's not because the caliber's bad and doesn't work. It's, hey man, 9 millimeter is cheaper and it does just as good a job, right? Here's the thing. The percentage is almost nothing to talk about, right? Like I said, 13, 14%. But I don't see anything. If you can shoot a 40 caliber as well as you shoot a 9 millimeter, then I don't see anything wrong with carrying a 40 caliber. Nothing. Okay. Fact is, 9 millimeter. They say technology has come a long way. Yes, it has for all the calibers. The technology didn't just come for 9 millimeter and left the rest out, right? It came the same technology came for all the calibers. So 9 millimeters hollow points have advanced in the last 10 years, and now we are getting the best expansion we've ever gotten. But we've also gotten the same great expansion and better technology from 40 caliber, 45, 10 millimeter, 357, say 380, you name it, because the same company that made the, let's just say, the Hornady 9 millimeter hollow point, they make it in 40, they make it in 45, they make it in 10 millimeter, they make it in 357 sig, right? So that's making 38 special 357 magnum too. So that's what you have. Now understand also that nowadays you can get a 40 caliber gun for cheap. So for those who don't have a lot of money, and you definitely you don't want them going out buying these high points, right? Okay, well if you can get it, I seen a Springfield XDM in 40 caliber for 279. Listen, if you don't have a lot of money, that is a great buy. It's a great buy. Okay, and the bullet works. It stops you just as good as 9 millimeter, just not better, that we've seen, right? With the statistics. However, there are other things that come into play that a lot of people don't pay attention to. There's definitely permanent wound cavities. Some people pay attention, even temporary wound cavities. But what a 40 caliber is undeniable is it's going to create a bigger hole. Period. Period. Okay. 9 millimeter is going to expand to a certain. It can only expand so wide. Period. Just okay. Science. 40 caliber will and can expand wider than 9 millimeter, so we'll create a bigger hole. 45 will then create an even bigger hole. It's not about the bigger hole. It's about the higher percentage of that caliber expanding and being able to hit those critical places in the body to shut that person down. Where a 22 just missed. We're not talking inches. We're not talking centimeters. We're talking very, 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 very hairs. We're talking splitting hairs. Where the 22 barely missed, the 9 millimeter caught it. Where the 9 millimeter barely missed, the 40 caliber caught it. And where the 40 barely missed off a hair from shutting that guy down, the 45 got it, right? That is a factor that exists. That's real. That is a real thing. It's not the only thing, right? Because you put a bullet in, it doesn't stop. You put another one in them, right? But the thing is about moments of truth. You don't know what you're getting into. You don't know what your situation provides. people get caught up in seeing, certain videos, and they think, okay, well, then that's how it's always going to be, or that's how it can always be. And that's not realistic. One guy, it took him 14 shots with the 45 to bring down a bad guy who wasn't even on drugs, just adrenaline. It took him 14 shots with the 45 to bring him down. Another guy takes you down one shot from freaking 15 yards off with a 357 SIG. Adding on to that, 357 SIG doesn't seem to really do much better than 9mm because the bullet itself is the same diameter as 9mm. It's just moving a little faster. All right. And people talk about, 40 caliber has a little more recoil, so you can't get on target. 357 SIG has just as much, if I say, from my experience, 357 SIG has more recoil than 40 caliber. Okay. So everyone, the Jack Wilson thing and the one shot kill with his SIG 357 SIG, everyone jumped on that real quick. I'm getting 357 SIG, but you hate 40 caliber. You're backwards. So you are a bandwagon. So you don't really know what you're talking about. So you don't know anything about the 40 caliber thing. You're just following the status quo. I get it. That's what's happening. You're following the status quo. All right. So just need to get that out, get that off my chest, because I'm just sick of it. I'm not even dealing with it anymore. From here forward, if you don't care for the caliber, cool. Some people don't like 10mm. Some people don't like 45. Some people don't like 9, whatever. But I bet not hear one other person say something ignorant, like as if it doesn't work, as if it won't protect the person who bought the gun just as well as as a 9mm will, right? Be clear about why you're explaining to these people you don't care about 40 caliber, but don't give them no bullshit. Because 9mm is better than 40 caliber at stopping someone is bullshit. That's just a fact. Wait a minute.